will read about properties of friction. What are the properties of friction? First property is friction always opposes relative motion. Hence it slows down and ultimately stops a moving body. We have got it before also that a ball rolling on the ground slows down and eventually comes to rest after some time, and this is because of friction. And we have also learned many times that friction opposes relative motion. Next, it is written that friction produces heat. This is why when we rub our hands together and touch our cheeks with them, we feel warm. Even the tires of a moving vehicle and the moving parts of a machine become hot due to friction. Sometimes when we are riding bicycle, after riding a much distance, we can observe that the tires become hot. So it's written that this occurs due to friction. Friction causes heat. Friction produces heat, and thus this heat is, or this warmth is produced. Now next is friction always friction causes wear and tear of the surfaces in contact. It results in wearing out of the sole of our shoes and the tires of moving vehicles. Also, the parts of a machine wear out due to friction, and one has to replace them from time to time. So, I'll tell you one thing, that friction is called a necessary evil. I said that friction always resists or opposes the relative motion. So this also helps us to walk, but sometimes we need smooth surface, like to slide over a surface we need smooth surface. Hence friction is not allowing us to do that work, it is opposing it. So it is called an evil, but it's so much necessary, because without the presence of friction we would not be able to walk, or we would not be able to ride any vehicle or a bicycle, or anything. So it's written here. Also, the soles of our shoes, we see that sometimes it wears and tears, and thus we need to buy the shoes or the purchase the shoes from time to time, as it wears and tears. Wear and tear means to destroy, that means it destroys. Okay, now let's come to our next topic. Now let us see. I am slowly moving the track. Let us see what happens. So it stops now. This stops because of friction. As we have learned before that friction opposes motion, so the car or the truck stops here. Now I suppose everyone can see a ball here. Now I will show you that how friction works on this ball. Let us move the ball with a smaller foot. Now let us see where the ball stops. Now the ball is stopping here. First, we can see that it was moving with much motion, but slowly it reduced its motion and ultimately stopped its motion. This is occurred because of friction. Thus, I showed you two videos that how friction works on the objects and stops it. Today we are going to discuss about the subject of physics. It's about friction. Friction is a type of force, we all know that. Now see what's written here. A ball rolling on the ground slows down and then eventually comes to rest after some time. We can observe this incident in most of the places. When we play, we can observe that if we roll a ball on the ground, it suddenly stops. After a few moments, it the motion of the ball becomes lesser and lesser and lesser and then gradually stops. This is occurs because of friction. This is because while it is moving, it experiences a force that is in the direction opposite to its motion. Now, friction always works in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of a moving body. Hence, this friction is also called opposing force. It's written here that this opposing force is called friction. Hence, friction is the force that opposes or resists the relative motion between two bodies or surfaces in contact. Thus, it's giving the definition from the above mentioned points. So, nothing to explain. Next, let us read. Friction always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of motion. Same thing. So, if we move a table towards north, then the force of friction will act on the table towards south. It's very common, as we have learnt that friction always acts in the opposite direction of motion. So, whatever we do, the friction will always act in the opposite direction. Now, similarly, when a bucket of water is kept on the floor and it is moved towards left, then friction will act between the floor and the bucket towards right. Okay, now the next topic is friction is caused due to the irregularities on the surfaces of objects in contact. This is the reason why friction occurs. That means the irregularities are causing a force which is acting in the direction opposite to our motion. It is called friction. Now, let us see what's written here. If we carefully observe the surfaces of objects through magnifying lens, we will see that there are tiny hills and grooves. Grooves means valleys. That means not that big valleys or large valleys. They are very tiny. That means we even can't see. In very much rough areas, we can sometimes see it, that there are some irregularities which are appearing like hills and grooves. One thing to tell you, that don't think that smooth surface do not have any irregularities or do not have any hills and grooves. They also have hills and grooves, but in very less amount. They are mostly smooth and flat. But rough surface has more irregularities. So, as we know that irregularities causes friction, so rough surface causes more friction. Rough surface exerts more friction than a smooth surface. This is the reason behind this. Now, after that is written, when any two surfaces come in contact with each other, these hills and grooves interlock with one another and thus oppose motion. That means, suppose something is walking or something is rolling on the floor. Every object has irregularities. Okay, every object has irregularities. So, the irregularities of that object which is rolling on the floor and the irregularities of the surface get interlocked. That means they are locked up. That is causing friction. That is why friction occurs. So, friction opposes the direction of motion. Now, let us see what is written after that. To be able to move any of these surfaces, we have to apply force to overcome interlocking. That means if we apply too much force, or if there are less irregularities, we have to apply not much force, a little force is enough. But if there are more irregularities, we have to apply more force. So we apply force so that its interlocking breaks and the object may get again to move. Thus this is done to avoid the friction. When the applied force is sufficient, that means enough, sufficient means enough, the interlocking breaks and the object begins to move. I said this just now. Now, let us move to our next topic. Now, before that, I want to show you a video which I have arranged for you to understand more better. So friends, one more thing, that there are two types of friction. One is static friction and the other is kinetic friction. Kinetic friction can be categorized into two parts: sliding friction and rolling friction. In my next video, we will discuss about these types of friction and how it compares with one another. We will learn about those. So that's all for today's discussion. Bye bye friends. We will meet again. I hope so. Thank you.